Okay, we're now going to move into what I call multiple step equations. Okay, now this really should just be a two-step equation. The problem is that we have multiple terms that are like terms. So we have a 3x here and a 5x here. Those can be combined. We have a minus 5 here and a plus 12 here. They can be combined. We have an x on the other side of the equation. We cannot solve this equation unless all of the x's are on the same side of the equation. So we have to do a little bit of cleanup here before we can even start solving this. But what we want to do is we want to turn it into a two-step equation. We want to turn this into an equation where all we have to do is add something to both sides and then multiply something by both sides. So let's see how we can do that. Well, the first thing we can do is we can combine 3x and plus 5x. 3x plus 5x is equal to 8x because 3 plus 5 is 8, and they both have an x on them. Then we want to take our negative 5 here and combine it with positive 12. Well, negative 5 plus 12 is 7, positive 7. So this is going to become plus 7. On the right side of the equation, there is nothing that can be combined, so we will simply carry down what we see. Now you see we have an x on the left side, 8x on the left side, and we have x on the right side. We cannot have an x on both sides of the equation. And therefore, what we need to do is we need to, the way you move an x, to move a term, you add an inverse. You add its inverse, okay? So you're going to do an additive inverse in order to move a term over to the other side. So x has additive inverse, okay, has inverse negative x. Okay, so the additive inverse of x is negative x. Why? Because x plus negative x is equal to 0, so it cancels it. So we're going to add negative x here, and we're going to add negative x over here. We have to do it to both sides, and we have to combine it with something that it's like. And so 8x minus x is 7x. We're going to carry down the plus 7 equals, this is going to 0 out, that's going to become 0, and then we're just going to carry down the negative 9. Now it's a two-step equation. We've done everything we need to do. Now it's a two-step equation, and we do it just like any other two-step equation. We're going to do the addition first. We're going to add negative 7 to both sides, and that's going to 0 out over here. We're going to carry down the 7x, carry down the equal sign, and then negative 9 minus 7 is negative 16. Then we're going to multiply by 1/7 on both sides, multiply by 1/7, and then we're going to have x is equal to negative 16 times 1/7 is negative 16 over 7, and that's our final answer. We are all done. Let's try another. Here is another multiple step equation. If you want to, try pausing the video and solving this on your own. All right, let me go ahead and solve this. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to combine like terms. We're going to combine the 2x with the minus 5x. 2x minus 5x is negative 3x. Negative 3x. Then we have the plus 3 and plus 1. Well, positive 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. That's plus 4. Carry down the equal sign, and we still have the 4x minus 11. Now there's two ways of going about this now. We could subtract 4x from both sides, or we could add 3x to both sides. Either way, you're going to get the correct answer, okay? So just to show you, I'm going to go ahead, that it works, I'm going to go ahead and add 3x over here, okay, because the additive inverse of 3x, or of negative 3x is positive 3x. So I'm going to add positive 3x to negative 3x, and it's going to cause it to equal 0. And that's how we're going to move it. And then I'm going to add 3x to this side, okay? So over here, it's going to become 0, which means that it cancels out. We're going to carry down this positive 4. We're just going to write it as 4 because it's a positive number, equals 4x plus 3x is 7x. And then we're just going to carry down the minus 11. Now we want to get, now it's a two-step equation. We're ready. It's now a two-step equation. So I want to cancel my additive first. I'm going to cancel this negative 11 by adding positive 11. So I'm going to add positive 11 to both sides. On this side, it's going to cancel. Carry down the equal sign. 4 plus 11 is 15. Carry down the 7x. And now we're going to multiply by 1/7, because 1/7 is the multiplicative inverse of 7. And if I multiply by 1/7 over here, I have to multiply by 1/7 over here. Multiply by 1/7, and then we wind up with, so 7 times 1/7 equals 1. It cancels out, and all we have left is the x. 15 times 1/7 is 15 over 7, and we cannot reduce that fraction. And so our final answer is x is equal to 15 over 7. Now, what would happen if we had done it the other way? What would happen if we had maybe canceled the 4x instead of the negative 3x? Well, let's see what might have happened. So let's go back to here. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. And over on this side, well, I'm not subtracting, I'm adding the negative of 4x, okay, but it looks like subtraction. So when we add the negative of 4x, this becomes 0. Negative 3x plus negative 4x is negative 7x. Then we're going to carry down the plus 4, and we're going to carry down the minus 11. Now it's a two-step equation. We want to get rid of the addition first. We'll get rid of this plus 4 by adding a negative 4, and we're going to add a negative 4 to both sides. Over here, it's going to cancel. Over on the right, we'll bring down the equal sign. Negative 11 plus negative 4 is negative 15. And then we're just going to carry down the negative 7x. Now, the multiplicative inverse of negative 7 is negative 1/7. Okay? So if it's a negative number, if it's a negative value, its multiplicative inverse is also negative. So what we're going to do here is we're going to multiply by negative 1/7. And over here, we're also going to multiply by negative 1/7. Okay? So over here, negative 1/7 times negative 7, a negative times a negative cancels. 7 times 1/7 is 1, so the whole thing cancels, and all we have left is x. Here, a negative times a negative equals a positive, so this is going to be positive, and 15 times 1/7 is 15 over 7, and you can see that we wind up with the exact